do a quick two-step. We are ahead of time. We're very efficient. Actually, Sherry's very efficient. I was 5 minutes over. Yeah, so do you have any questions for Sherry while I'm up here? We're all professionals here. So how are you feeling today? Good? Yes, good. Okay, cool.
Okay. Short story about Sherry, because I'm in the Magento community because of Sherry. She's really like an icon of being a community manager. That's for sure. I remember the first Imagine where we met, and that was really outstanding experience. It was the first time I was going to Imagine to Los Angeles for the first Magento conference, and I was so happy that I bought a ticket. So I tweeted, and then I got a tweet: "Hey, hello! It will be nice to see you in LA." I thought, "Wow, someone from Magento said hello to me." Wow, I became part of community. I'm so proud of it. So that was really really awesome. And from the very beginning, I knew that the whole community around Magento is something very important. I think the most important. Technology is the second thing, but community that helps each other and helps growing the whole ecosystem is the most important thing. Okay, I think it's we can now proceed to our presentation. And this presentation will be shared with Bartek, our lead engineer and super magician behind all our great toys, our technology fun and experiments. And we'll talk a little bit about Internet of Things and Magento. And maybe some of you remember that last year I had a short talk about Mage Button, our first hardware, oh, maybe not first, but our hardware experiment connected to Magento. And today we would like to tell you what's changed during the year, because it can show you a story of a software house that tries to extend to be a hardware startup, which is quite challenging and a little bit more adventurous than we were expecting before. So that's the story. So Internet of Things. Hello? Come on, my next slide. What's Internet of Things? It's about connecting devices that are usually not connected and building a network that allows to share experience.
Not connected like this pointer, yeah?
Yeah, this is the Internet of Things in case of this remote control. Yeah. maybe we should have a Mage button to operate it. Okay. Did you try to turn it off and on again? I did, but I shoot 3 times. I saw in the movie. Yeah, we have connected devices. Great, so it's like a perfect timing. We have a device, it's connected, so it's connected device, as we can see. So we built a connection between offline and online world. That's in theory it's easy. We can just we already have like phones. We have switches to turn on the light. That's great, but we would like to make it more intuitive and just don't let people think. So these devices will think instead of them. So connected devices in e-commerce can bring retailers to the online world and can also bring the online experience to offline stores. And why we started with Internet of Things and kind of omni-channel commerce approach? Because of Magento. Magento was always our main focus, core service, and in Magento we feel the strongest. And Magento has a great way to connect with everything. It has API. API, of course, like has some issues, but in general, it's really a great base for connecting or using Magento as a base for other external systems. So we started with building different apps and platforms on Magento, using Magento only as a backend, as an engine for our own commerce ideas. And after that, we decided that we already have some experience with mobile, so why not start with something else? Started with mobile apps, and after that, we decided to go deeper into the world of all different devices. And that's how we started with all our toys. And now I think it's best time for Bartek to tell you more what happened next.
Thanks, Kuba. And we started with beacons. Let's call them Mage beacons, why not? And we started with using them in our conference application to check how they work, what are the possible troubles and risks in using these devices. They are not really good in quality of detecting the place you are, but it was our first experience. Over 1 year ago, we started with Mage button, and this is our build from the very beginning device. And now we are working on Mage mirror. And yeah, Mage button. I guess most of you know what is it. And this is the small button that you place in some area where you keep your supplies, like dog food, like coffee. And if you run out of the supplies, just press the button, make an order, and it's there. Yeah, it's work pretty easy. But even the idea of Mage button, which is simple, need a great definition. It should be well defined. What do you want to get? How should it work? And there's a lot of issues you have to think about. The first issue, the general issue, is about architecture, and for us, it was very important to connect this with Magento because it's our main activity. So the Mage button needs some communication server to get information about the press. Then it goes to the Magento, where is our created plugin, and then all the magic happened with that. If we talk about communication server, you can use your own, or you can use cloud solution like Bluemix, like some Amazon, and it's up to you. But it's the important thing of connected devices to get a communication server. And yeah, this is the first Mage button prototype. It looked like some electric spider. It wasn't beautiful, but it was our job. And yeah, we experiment with Arduino, with ESP8266, with Bluetooth modem. And after that, we realized that, yeah, it's possible to create our own device, but we are not able to create professional printed board circuit. So we started a cooperation with professionals in that area. Later, it looked like on the picture on the right. Yeah, it's pretty beautiful, but it's not the latest version because we need to change the Wi-Fi modem for a cheaper. And yeah, that's our experience with 3D printing. We created a case but 3D printing case is ugly. You cannot show this to the customer. It doesn't look like a ready-to-sell product. But it's good for you, for developer, to check if the printed circuit board matches the case. And later, you can try, for example, milling machine. This is the very high quality machine that is really accurate, and you can create something like on the right. You have to create the case for the first time, for the second time, for the third time. You have to iterate because it's really hard to look forward and see what's going to happen. But as I can say, hardware is not as agile as software. It's hard. Yeah, it's hard. And you have to plan everything from the beginning to the end. Check things twice, first. Yeah, it's hard. But what was surprising for me, hardware is open source. And you can find a similar solution like Magento online. There is written everything from the beginning to the end with every scheme of the printed board circuit, with the case, with everything. And maybe the last thing is that you can buy it from China. Yeah, they are fast and they get the ideas really fast and create their own solutions. Of course, creating something in China and importing that may cause some troubles because you have less control about how your product will look, how your product will work. Yeah, but usually it's cheaper than producing that, for example, in Poland. And when I talk about the hardware that it is open source, it's also about the next project, the Mage Mirror, which is an interactive mirror. And I have a question for you. And yeah, that's the question. Just read it and think about this. How old could it be? It's over 200 years, and there is an answer. That was in the fairy tale, in the Snow White. Yeah, so we think we are doing some cutting edge technologies, really inventing, but it's quite old, yeah? This is how it looked like, and our mirror, you can see it at the booth of Magento. There's a demo how it works, but I'd like to tell you how is it made. And of course, you need a screen. And we use the 4K television for that because of that we need a really good quality of the picture because person using the mirror is standing like 1 meter from the screen, and you need a great density of the screen. And the infrared touch frame is really useful to get interaction from the user. It makes the mirror interactive, and also it's really not high-end technology. You just buy a frame, put it to your computer, and it's working. Yeah, it's pretty easy, and it's sometimes surprising how it works. And what next? To make a mirror from a TV, you need a reflective glass. And it's also not the easiest part of the creating a new device because we tested like 3 or 4 glasses to get the best quality of image and the best quality of reflection. See yourself. The last part is the computer, some CPU that will handle this interaction with user, show something, and you can start even with Raspberry Pi. It's good for start, but for Magento, especially Magento 2, which is quite heavy, it's not possible to start this on the Raspberry Pi with some stronger device. Yeah, and this is not ready yet, but this is our plan to connect the Magic Mirror, the Mage Mirror with Magento 2, and to create a special theme for the mirror. The rule how it works looks like that. You need a black background to see yourself in the mirror. Not everything that is white or other color is visible to the user. And also the second feature that we want to show with our mirror to make it work is the camera, and the HTML make it easy to use camera on your site and to take a picture. So imagine that you are standing in the front of the mirror, wear some jacket, and want to tell to your friends, is it good or bad? Ask them. You just take your phone, press the button, take me a picture, and it happens from the mirror. Yeah, and this is what we are working on. And the second part is the WebSockets and the Slim framework for PHP to handle some features that are not typical for Magento. And maybe for the end, there's a question: why should we do this? Why should we start creating our own devices or investing in research and development? It's because of the big players like Amazon and Google working on that. But Magento is different. It's not like Amazon. It's not like a Google. It's about us. Yeah, it's about creativity, and we should create some new features, some new ideas, and connect this with Magento, which is open source, and that makes it really easy to connect every solution with Magento. I guess Kuba wants to say something more about future and business.
Thanks, Bartek. So yeah, I will just summarize this presentation. It's like it's overview of our hardware adventures, and actually why we share it, why we do it, because we really believe in Magento ecosystem, that Magento is not only a platform to build a store. It's something more. It's something that can be something innovative, something that can bring new value to commerce, not just e-commerce, but to commerce in general. And we also believe that this kind of innovation is important to every company. When we started it, when we had first idea with devices, with connected devices, sometimes not connected devices, we thought that it will be like great thing that we can build a hardware startup and have millions become unicorn, whatever. But after all, it appeared that it's very hard, that hardware is a very, very special thing, completely different than building software. But one thing that we learned, that's very important, that innovation is important. It's when working with Magento, it's sometimes easy to just stick with, building store and another store, and then repeating a lot of similar tasks. So sometimes we just depends on the clients. Clients don't want to risk something, don't want to bring too much innovation because they want to be more conservative. So it's our role to bring innovation, to bring some new fresh ideas. And of course, the best situation is if we can have a client who can finance this kind of experiments and research work. But after all, it's not that easy, and it's much better to just keep working on new things, just to dedicate some time to build new solutions. And even if it will not be like a immediate commercial success, it really teaches us a lot. It shows completely new perspective of working with Magento. And after all, it also helps us share these experiences with others. Because if you look at these technologies, it's not a rocket science. It's not something that is extremely difficult, complicated. Like most of companies working with Magento could do this. But for some reason, for last year, or maybe longer, there are really not many companies involved in going outside of typical Magento image. So of course, it's good for us. We are still visible because we are working with hardware. But in the same time, we would like to show that it's time to do something more, to keep experimenting, because as we share basics of Magento and we build Magento better, we also can share basics of technologies around Magento. And then we can again focus on something new. So we can raise the bar. With every new shared knowledge, every new open source technology, then we can work with our clients on more advanced technologies. We don't need to build, to reinvent the wheel. We can just do something new. So there were a lot of problems. It was like a really very special experience working with these pieces of hardware. But we know one thing, that we will keep working, because with very similar technology, the only thing that can bring some new value to commerce is innovation. And as a solution provider for commerce, we are responsible to bring this innovation. So we are really happy that we started it. We will be really open for new ideas, how we can cooperate with other companies. We are always open to share this knowledge, because together we can build something better and offer better solution. It's just following like our ideas to, if we know that we want to build something better, we want to build it better, but also share it. So in the same time, when talking about hardware, I will also use it to advertise our other open source project. Like with Magento 2, we are working on a community project that is going to rebuild Magento 2 base to a slightly better technology. And what makes me happy is that we have like a official green light from Magento. That would be great to build it, and if we build it the right way, it can really go into the core. And if it gets into the core, it will make life of thousands of developers around the world easier. So if you also believe in sharing knowledge and technologies, and if you believe that it's important not to just keep these small technologies only for yourself, but you think that together as a community around Magento, we can just build better solutions and better technologies, just think what great pieces of code, of modules, solutions you can open source just to help others. And at the same time, just, if you have some time, just help other projects to build something better. So that's it. You can test some of our toys, especially Mirror, at the Mage Button stand. So if you have any questions, if you want to talk about it, if maybe you already built something similar, we'll be happy to talk about it and think about better or different approaches to what we did. So thank you very much, and welcome. Next person. Coffee. Okay, so yeah, coffee is also good. So thank you.